JNVR with absolutely huge recent gains.
Right, massive runs. Then BJDX, which has been trending down significantly.
Yep, and AREB just showing truly extreme, wild volatility.
And WTF with recent positive movement, but kind of flying under the radar of the prediction models.
Exactly. And looking forward, the models generally see potential for growth in the next quarter for BJDX, AEHL, AREB, and JNVR.
And it's a big but. Those prediction ranges, especially for AREB and JNVR, are just enormous.
They really are. That's maybe the most unexpected detail across the board. It just screams market uncertainty and high risk for those specific names. Makes you really question what specific catalyst could drive those prices to either end of those huge ranges.
And we definitely saw the very high-risk flags on AEHL and AREB due to that volatility.
Absolutely. And maybe you could argue WTF carries a different kind of risk. The lack of analyst coverage and prediction data means less external validation or consensus.
It really feels like each stock has its own very specific narrative right now based on this data.
It does. Some driven by momentum, some by recent setbacks, some just by pure volatility, it seems.
And that silence on WTF's future price is almost as loud as the volatility figures for AREB, in a way.
I think that's a fair way to put it. It signals a need for deeper digging, if you're interested there. You can't rely on the readily available forecasts.
Okay, so just to quickly recap the numbers again for everyone. BJDX, $2.48 now, maybe plus 7% rise, range $3.16 to $8.05.
AEHL, $4.45 now, maybe plus 20%, but huge range, 0.1006 to $5.14, very high risk.
$5.58 now, maybe plus 14%, but that absolutely massive range, 0.394 to $22.29, very high risk. And JNVR, $27.38 now after a dip, maybe plus 14%, also very wide range, $4.72 to $42.94. Huge recent gains, but overbought signals and insider selling noted.
Yeah, the recent performance contrasts are stark. The big winners, the loser, the volatile one. And the future uncertainty levels are all over the map.
So we've synthesized the info as of today, April 9th, from these sources. The different risk levels, the speculative nature of these predictions, especially the wide ranges. It's a lot to digest.
It is, and it really paints a complex picture, doesn't it? Contrasting performance, varying degrees of uncertainty.
Definitely. Which leads me to a final thought, really a question for our listeners to chew on.
Okay.
Given these really dramatic price swings we've seen, and especially those super broad prediction ranges for some of these, what does that actually tell you about the current market conditions overall, maybe? And about the specific factors really driving these particular companies right now?
That's a great question to end on. Yeah, what are these extremes, the volatility, the huge ranges signal about the wider market, or the forces acting on these specific, potentially more speculative stocks? Something definitely worth mulling over and maybe digging deeper into the news behind each ticker.